Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Di sini saya akan menjelaskan bab ke-11 tentang research design and planning. A research design is a plan or strategy that is drawn up for organizing the research and making it practicable, so that research question can be answered based on evidence and warrants. Approaching research planning, what the researcher does depends on what the researcher wants to know and how she or he will go about finding out about the phenomenon in question. The planning of research depends on the kinds of question being asked or investigated. This is not a mechanist exercise, but depends on the researcher's careful consideration of the purpose of the research. See Chapter 10, and the phenomenon being investigated. Research design and methodology. Having a rigorous research design is crucial in the research process. In planning research, the researchers commence with the overall purpose of the research and then construct a research design to address this. The Faust 1999 contends that a research design function to ensure that the evidence that research obtains enables them to answer the initial question used unambiguously and possible, and to indicate the kind of evidence required to answer the research question. From design to operational planning. If the preceding commands or strategy then decisions in this field are tactical, they establish the practicalities of the research, assuming that generally it is feasible that the orientation decisions have been taken. Decisions here include addressing such questions as what are the specific purpose of the research? Does the research need research question? A framework for planning research. Planning research depends on the design of the research, which in turn depends on the kind of question being asked of or investigate the purpose of the research. The research principle informing how one is worked and the philosophies, ontologies, and epistemologies which underpin them. Planning research is not an arbitrary matter. Conducting and reporting a literature review before one can progress very far in planning research. It is important to ground the project validity and reliability. This is achieved in part by a thorough literature review of the state of the field and how it has been researched to date. Searching for literature on the Internet. The storage and retrieval of research data on the Internet play an important role, not only in keeping research abreast of development across the world, but also in providing a case to data which can inform literature. Searchers to establish construct and content validity in their own research. And then how to operationalize research question. Chapter 10 indicates that there are many different kinds of research questions that derive from different purposes of the research. For example, research question may seek to describe what a phenomenon is, or was happening in a particular situation. Now, graphic case studies, complete theory-based studies, surveys. And then distinguishing methods from methodologies. In planning research, it is important to clarify the distinction between methodology and methods, approaches and instrument, styles of research and way of collecting data. Simple put, methodology compare how we find out about the phenomenon, the approach to be used, the principle which underpin it, and the justification for using the kind of research approach. The type of study to be continued, how the research is undertaken with its associated issue for kinds of researching sampling instrumentation, canons of validity. Data analysis. The prepared research will need to consider how the data will be analyzed. This is important as it has a specific bearing on the form of the instrumentation. For example, a researcher will need to plan carefully the layout and structure of the questionnaire survey in order to access data and try for computer reading and analysis. An inappropriate layout may obstruct data entry and subsequent analysis by computer.